on live here. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. I'll give you time to come on. Let me talk to my Instagram folks while you're coming on. We are getting ready for Saturday. Saturday is our Debt-a-Thon, but it's about much more than debt. You know, we're talking about dfree, and dfree is aimed at helping the average person, not just rich people, the average person deal with financial matters to make this holiday season a better holiday season. We have an In the Black holiday campaign. And that holiday campaign is aimed at giving you strategies and solutions. And so I'm coming on this week, as I've never come on before, to talk to you live and to give you a connection. What you need is a hookup. You need a hookup to help you through this pandemic holiday season. It's bad enough that we're in pandemic. Lord knows I've lost more friends this year than I've ever lost in 1 year. But the worst in the pandemic with COVID is the financial pandemic. And many of us were having financial pandemic before COVID. And now COVID's come along and threatened our jobs. It's threatened our savings. It's jacked up our credit. And we want to help. We want to help. I definitely want to help because the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. Hello, YouTube. Good to see you. And just by way of background, let me say that it's never too late. I don't care how old you are, and I don't care how broke you are. It's never too late. I didn't start saving for retirement until I was in my 40s. You hear that? Didn't start saving for retirement until I was in my 40s. And now I'm ready to retire. I can't retire now because of COVID, but I can't retire the way I had planned to retire. I had planned for yesterday to be my last day at First Baptist Church. And although I'm not sad, I mean, I made the decision to stay. The situation is such that it makes sense for me to stay to serve the church through this crisis period when we're doing everything virtually. But the reality is that I'm prepared to leave. I can afford to retire. And that's what I want for everybody. It's never too late. So let me get to this subject. Every night since Saturday, and you can see Saturday and Sunday if you go back and watch it. But every night I've said I'm not going to hold you long, and then I've held you long, not well, longer than I had planned to. And tonight I want to explain what's going to happen Saturday. So on Saturday we have something called a Debt-a-Thon. You go to the website. You can go and sign up now, mydfree.org. mydfree.org. You sign up for the webinar, then you'll get a reminder. And the reminder will say the Debt-a-Thon starts at 11 o'clock Saturday. Now on Saturday at 11 o'clock, from 11 until 4, two things are going to happen at the same time. Thing number one is that I'll be talking to the key people whose organizations and whose companies have agreed to help me help you. So that's thing number one. So I'll be talking to officials from Prudential who will be sending financial professionals, and we'll talk on Wednesday about what to expect from a financial professional. I'll be talking to Green Path, which is the organization that's sending people to help you if you're having credit problems, if you're being chased by bill collectors, if you fall behind on your car payment or your credit card or your student loan. Green Path is the organization that's licensed and certified to help you. And so I'll be talking with people from Green Path. We'll be talking to people from Money Lion. Last night I talked about a credit builder program. It's operated by a fintech. You've heard the term fintech. Fintech is simply an abbreviated form of the two words financial technology. And you've seen them pop up all over the place where you can go to the bank without going to the bank. You just have an app on your phone and you use that app, and that app belongs to a company, and that company allows you to do all kinds of things. I've heard that Killer Mike and Andrew Young and somebody else are coming out with a Black-owned fintech. It's not ready yet. And so we have a relationship with a fintech that has hundreds of thousands of Black members, over 3 million members, and we've been talking and working with them for 3 years to get ready for this day. The name of the fintech is Money Lion. And so the first thing that'll happen is when you come to the Debt-a-Thon on Saturday, you'll see conversations. It's like a conference or like a concert, like an event. From 11 to 4, there'll be people talking about real estate, talking about credit, talking about finance. But at the same time, there'll be another option where you just click a button. And when you click that button, you'll basically say, look, I don't need to hear speech about credit. I need help with my credit. So you click the button. That button will take you directly to someone that you can talk to one-on-one, confidentially. We won't know your business. No one else will know your business. One-on-one, you'll talk to someone. They'll ask you questions like, who do you owe? How much do you owe? How much are your monthly payments? And then if you want help, that person, whether it's foreclosure, whether it's credit cards, whether it's banking, whether it's improving your credit, that person will then offer you a solution. So this is about solution. This is not about instruction. And the reason I felt compelled to do this is because my work, my writing, my program, our training focuses on 12 steps. dfree, it has been broken up into 12 steps. Our workbook is called 12 Steps to Financial Freedom. That's what it's called. But what's real is that there are people in your family, there are people in our churches, there are people in our fraternities and sororities who don't have time for 12 steps. They need help right now. And so we're bringing to the community help that's available right now. And Saturday is the beginning of the hookup. Now, why are we doing it now? We're doing it now because the holidays is a time of high stress normally, just normally. The holidays is a time of deep depression. All the experts will tell you that people are more depressed during the holidays. People are more anxious during the holidays. And the Lord knows during COVID-19, we don't need any more anxiety, any more depression than we already had. So now we're coming into COVID-19. We've lost loved ones. We've seen refrigerator trucks back up to hospitals because people are now dying in larger numbers than the morgues can handle. And at the same time, we're dealing with people talking about shop at Target, come to Walmart. And it's not bad enough that we've got all of this tragedy, all of this political confusion, all of this stress created by the non-transition of government in Washington. But then we've got the malls and the stores bombarding our phones. I looked at a shirt about 2 months ago on my phone. They sent me an email, of course, as they always do. Every day I get email asking me to buy something. And I saw the shirt, looked like a nice shirt. I clicked the button for the shirt. That shirt has followed me everywhere I go. Sunday morning in church, when I went to look up my scripture, that shirt showed up. And unfortunately, many of us, when we see shirts pop up and we see this technology marketing these products to us, many of us feel like, well, if it comes one more time, maybe the Lord wants me to buy it. No, the Lord doesn't want you to buy it. That's technology. So here we have COVID-19. We've got political chaos in Washington, and we've got the holidays coming, having the nerve to tell us that Black Friday is good for us, when Black Friday is good for the companies that are going to sell us products. But if Black Friday means going deeper into debt, Black Friday is not really Black Friday. Black Friday is Red Friday. When you spend more than you make, when you owe more than you own, you're not in the black, you're in the red. So we're calling this in the Black Friday, in the black. And we're bringing resources, bringing help for people who would like to be in the black during these holiday season, starting from Black Friday. So we've talked about a number of things each night this week. I'm going to just give you a preview to make sure you know what's available for you on Saturday from 11 to 4, mydfree.org. It's all free. This is not a fundraiser. I don't need your money. There are no tickets to sell. This is not a come on to pull you in, and then when you get there, we sell you something. No, this is about helping you be in the black the way I am. I'm in the black. I own more than I owe. I earn more than I spend. My assets exceed my liabilities. I have a net worth that's positive, not a negative net worth. 35% of black people in America have a negative net worth, 1 out of 3. That means that we owe more than we own. And my mission that I've accepted is to help somebody flip the script and go from being in the red to being in the black. So on Saturday, when you come to the site, you can listen. You can listen to the conversation. You can listen to the speakers. You can get information about your finances, but you can also get help. And if you'll click a button, and one of the buttons will be to help you learn how to turn debt into savings. When I was the pastor of a church for 10 years, I had no savings account. I spent every penny before I was a pastor, had no savings. I couldn't save money. If I saved money, the money was gone in about 2 or 3 days. And I really didn't believe I could save money. But what I discovered was that I was using credit cards. In other words, I couldn't save money to have it for any length of time, but I was spending money before I got it. So the switch, the way I started saving was to learn 3 or 4 things. Thing number 1, I stopped using credit cards and started using cash. Stop using credit cards. Now I'm older and I'm more disciplined. But when I first started on my road to financial freedom, I stopped using credit cards. I'm going to get to that question about taxes in a minute. Remind me, somebody. Shirley, just give me about 7 minutes. And I started using cash. And that way I stopped being behind all the time. I stopped paying last month's bills with next week's check. So that was the first thing. Then I made a list of all of the people that I owed, credit cards, furniture company, car company, made a list of all of those people. And I put them in the order of the size of the debt. So I put the smallest debt at the bottom and I put the largest debt at the top. And I made the minimum payments on all of the debts except the smallest one. And then I made the biggest payment I could on the smallest one and paid it off. Then I went to the next one and paid it off, went to the next one and paid it off. That was a strategy. So I started using cash. I made a list. You'd be surprised to know how many people don't even know how much money they owe. I was shocked. I went to the movies one year and saw a very interesting movie about someone whose name I won't mention, because when I got home, I had a message from one of the leading characters in the movie asking me to help them with their credit card debt. They knew I had written a book. They know about dfree, and they live in California. And the first question I asked is, how much money do you owe? And the person didn't know. Many people, I was there, but many people carry debt and really don't know how much they owe. There are some people who haven't made a student loan payment in such a long time, they don't know how much they owe. especially if your debt has accumulated interest and penalties. You don't really know how much, what is the balance today. So that was the second thing I did. Got all of my debts and then wrote them down. Wrote them down. Then I set a date. I set a date for when I wanted these debts to be paid, these credit cards, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And then what I've learned since then, which I didn't do myself, because, you know, as a pastor of a church, when you're living above your means and driving nice cars and preaching sermons, it's too embarrassing to tell anybody that you're broke. So I just didn't tell anybody. For years, I didn't tell anybody that I was broke until I got unbroke. That's not a good thing. I'm asking people to trust us in ways that I didn't trust anybody. I didn't go for help. I did all of this on my own. I listened to shows, I read books, but I'm telling you, it's easier to do if you let someone help you. So, and that's the final thing. What we've learned that after you start using cash, make a list of all of your debt. You start paying them off from the smallest to the largest. After you do all of that, do you know what we've discovered? We've discovered that it's easier to do this when you do it with someone else. It really is. That's why the Delta Sigma Theta sorority is so effective. The Deltas have paid down millions of dollars of debt, the members of the sorority, because the chapters, probably 200 chapters, the Delta chapters are paying off their debt together. Now, I don't think they share individual business with other members, but churches and fraternities and Black real estate agents are paying down their debt together, because before I wrote my book, I did some research. Harvard professor wrote a marvelous book called The Overspent American. And she documented all of the psychological, sociological, cultural pressures that cause us to spend more money than we have, especially at times like these. It's the holiday season. We've got grandchildren and friends we want to give gifts to. And instead of doing some things that are creative and nice, we just use those credit cards and we start the new year with bills from the old year. My goal is for no one that I know to have to start the new year with bills from the old year. So what we've done and what we'll do on Saturday is to invite people to literally transform their debt into savings. And it's really not rocket science. If you have a $300 car note right now, if you can let us help you pay off the car note, then after the car is paid for, you still have the $300. And that $300 that used to go to Ford Motor Credit or GMAC, that $300 can now go into your savings, because you were living without it, really. You were donating it to the car finance company or the bank. And now it's your money. And what we've done is we put together a free online platform to help you do all of the things that I just described, to write down your bills, to list them in the order that you want, in the order of their size, to set a date for when you want them to be paid off. You can even use the platform to invite your friends or your family or your choir members or your sorority members or your golf buddies. You can literally form an online group and celebrate your debt reduction successes together. And that's how you turn debt into savings. We call it the $1,000,000paydown.com, simply because I made a commitment to God to get 100,000 people. Yes, 100,000. I made a commitment to God to get 100,000 people to pay off $10,000 in debt. And that's $1 billion. And I'm going to stay on this course until I can see that the website, the website doesn't tell your business, but the website tells me and the world how much debt the D-Free movement has helped people pay down. And if you go there right now, you can go to the website, billiondollarpaydown.com, and you can see the number comes right up, just like the national debt in Times Square. The D-Free debt reduction comes right up on your screen, billiondollarpaydown.com, and you can join that, and we'll be describing that, and we're going to have someone there on Saturday all day that can teach you how to join for free and can help you set up your own account and your own group and create your momentum towards financial freedom. It's going to happen Saturday, and it's free, and it won't take you more than 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, you can come to the Debt-a-Thon. You can click the right button for the $1 Billion Challenge. You can join the challenge. You can set up your account. You can form your group. You can start sending email to invite your family and friends, and then you can go on about your business on Saturday. 15 minutes. Now, we'll be there all day, but you don't have to stay all day. If turning debt into savings is why you attend, it won't take you more than 15 minutes to accomplish your goal, and then you can move on. Now, if you're already in that, if you're already a part of the $1 Billion Challenge, what I'm asking you to do is to just tell somebody else. Tell somebody to take 15 minutes on Saturday, November 21st. Stop by the Debt-a-Thon. I have a hard time saying it because it's never happened before. I've never done it before, and I keep having to explain it. A Debt-a-Thon, a marathon is when you run a long distance. A telethon is when you call in and give a lot of money. A Debt-a-Thon is when you take control of your own finances, starting with your debt. So listen, that's enough for tonight. Oh, I wanted to answer the question. Shirley asked a question about taxes. Where is that question? Let me see. Don't go anywhere. Shirley, do you want to come on and ask it live? I tried to do it last night. Let's see. There's a question. Shirley, write your question again so I can see it. I'll answer this question from Miss Carter. Should you keep your credit cards at 0, or is it okay to leave it under 30%? Your goal should be, if you use credit cards at all, your goal should be to have a 0 balance at the end of every month. In other words, you're not using credit cards to finance a lifestyle. You're using credit cards for convenience. You're using credit cards for points. I have one credit card that we use for grocery shopping because we get 6% back. We get points. But what you don't want is to use a credit card that has last month's balance next month. Every single time you use a credit card, you want it paid off by the end of that month, if not the end of that week. Okay. And you'll have a great credit score. My credit score is 850. Okay. Shirley, I said, now, Shirley, would you like to come on and talk to me live? And she's like, she called me Jose. In no way, Jose. Okay. What if you owe taxes right now considered uncollectible? Well, first of all, if you owe taxes, whether it's federal tax or state tax, you should be talking to the tax people. That's number one. Don't, because there's no hiding place. If you die owing taxes, they'll come to your funeral. It's like student loans. They'll sit with the family. They'll go to the cemetery and come back to the church for a repast and eat chicken after a while. Don't owe taxes. And I don't know what you mean by they're considered uncollectible. But what I would urge you to do is on Saturday, there'll be a financial professional there who can answer all of your tax questions. My lay person suggestion is that you come on Saturday knowing all of the details about your taxes, how much you owe, whether it's federal or state taxes, how much is penalties, And then, you know, what we may have to do is to connect you with a special accountant. There are special accountants that have a special relationship with the IRS. They have a special phone number they call. They have special training, and those I know because I needed one back in the day. Those accountants somehow have the ability to work out special arrangements when you're behind on taxes. So if it's a tax problem, make sure you talk to someone who is an expert on taxes. The only reason I know is because I owed taxes. I owed so many taxes one year. They just came to my bank account and took them out. They didn't wait for me to file. They didn't wait for me to estimate. They just I went to the ATM machine and the money was gone. And when I called the bank, they said the IRS came and took your money, the little money I had. So you don't want to play with the IRS or the state of New Jersey. And as soon as I can find out, Shirley, what it means by your taxes are considered uncollectible, then I'll know what kind of expert to connect you. See, I'm not a financial expert. You know what I'm an expert on? I'm an expert on helping people. And what I've discovered is that in the area of finance, the best thing I can do to help you is to connect you to some of the very powerful, influential, resourceful people that I know. And so my job is to help you connect with people that I've either worked with or that I've researched or that I've recruited, because I want the best resources available for my church members, my family members, and my community. So that's what the Debt-a-Thon is about. And I would really appreciate it if you'd spread the word, if you'd share the links, if you would like the posts on various social media. So far, we've reached about 2.5 million people with the message about the Debt-a-Thon. And we're continuing. The president of my bank sent me an email today and said he saw one of our commercials about the Debt-a-Thon. So I know people are watching. Now, this is not just for Black people. We aim our message at the Black community because we as a community are doing the worst. We have the least amount of money. We have the most amount of debt. We have the highest rates of foreclosures. We have the highest rates of bankruptcies. Black people are just doing worse. And if you really want to help people, what you want to do is help the people that need help the most. Black people need help the most. But do we turn away anyone else? Absolutely not. We don't turn anybody away at our church. We don't turn anybody away at our events. We don't turn anyone away. But our priority is to help the people that need the most help, which happens to be Black people. So meet me on Saturday, 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock. If you need help, it won't take more than 15 minutes for you to have it. And if you're just interested in increasing your knowledge about insurance, about investing, about home ownership, about credit, we'll have outstanding speakers. I'll be there the whole time. You don't have to stay the whole time unless you just want to. We'll have outstanding speakers, good information about budgeting, but it's two things at the same time. It's knowledge and it's assistance. All right. I'll see you then. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, YouTubers. Thank you, Instagrammers. And I look forward. Tomorrow night, I'll be here. I forget what subject I'm discussing, but tomorrow night, I will be here discussing another aspect of what's going to happen on Saturday. This is the Debt-a-Thon Preview. All right. God bless you. I'm out. And next time, Shirley.